Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. Got another Pokemon Pocket video for you. Our first new deck profile, or rather deck profile from the newest expansion. Coming at you with one you might not be expecting necessarily, Darkrai Magnezone? Yeah, so for our deck list we're on 2 Magnemite from the latest expansion, 2 Magneton, these are going to be from Genetic Apex, 2 Magnezone, 2 Druddigon, 2 Darkrai EX, 2 Pokeball, 1 Pokemon Communications, 2 Giant Cape, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Leaf, 1 Cyrus. So the idea here, because it might not be very apparent at first, but the idea here is that we are only on Dark Energy. We're not splitting Dark Electric. And we're using Magneton's ability in order to generate electric energy. Fun fact, Magneton and Magnezone both only need 1 electric energy to actually use their attack. The other energy requirements are all colorless. So, by being on Mono Dark, we can ensure that we always have dark energy to attach to Darkrai. We can use Darkrai in combination with Druddigon to not only stall, but also deal a lot of incidental damage. And Darkrai is also not a bad damage dealer itself, not only from its ability, but of course then it can deal 80 HP with its attack. So this deck has already been making the rounds on the tournament circuit. It's gotten a couple of tops, but I think this one has real potential. I would not be surprised if this ended up being one of the better decks of the format. I've only played it a little bit, but I can already tell you that the gameplay feels really nice. A lot of the time you don't even necessarily even need a Magnezone to win, but yeah, just the combination of Druddigon, Darkrai. I'll tell you right now, Darkrai, in my opinion, is just the best card in the set, probably. I was thinking about making a star rating video for this set. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Me going through the whole set and ranking every card out of 5. But in my opinion, Darkrai is the breakout card of Space Time Smackdown. The ability is very nice. It's both good for like stalling, setting up, as well as being aggressive. It actually does both at the same time. It's like if putting energy on Druddigon actually did something. Instead of having to run just like water fire for it, you know? But it's actually even better than that. Of course, Darkrai Weavile is also a thing. I've seen Darkrai, like, 18 trainer decks, Darkrai Wheezing. Those decks have definitely been topping tournaments as well, so... oh no, sorry, it wasn't Darkrai 18 trainers, it was Dialga 18 trainers. Well, technically it was Dialga Muse 17 trainers, but anyway... Long story short, there's a lot of different ways to play Darkrai, and not only is Darkrai currently, I think, one of the best cards from the new set, but as future Dark Pokemon come out, it'll only get better. So here our opponent is on not only just Gyarados, but they're playing the Palkia as well. I imagine they have Manaphy in their deck too, they just didn't get to set it up here. But yeah, this Gyarados does threaten to start using its Rampaging Whirlpool here pretty soon. For that reason, I'm going to leave the Druddigon in, and I'll just keep attaching energy to Darkrai. So we deal 20 here and knock the Gyarados down to 120. It attacks Druddigon, goes down to 100. We can attach to Darkrai again and knock it down to 80, and then knock it out on the next turn with Darkrai's Dark Prism attack. That's kind of my game plan here. Yeah, I was debating if I wanted to swap in now, but I don't think I did, actually. I am also looking to try out, of course, other new other decks from the new set. Currently, I own the 2 Darkrais. As you can see, I even pulled a full art, like a 2-star, 2 gold star one, which is pretty nice. I have 2 Dialgas, so I'm definitely working on some Dialga decks. I have 2 Weaviles, so I can do Darkrai Weavile. Main thing I still need is a Palkia. I managed to pull a Crown Rare Golden Palkia, but I only own the 1 so far, so I still need to pull a second one. Infernape, I also still need to pull a second one of those at this time as well. What else did I pull so far? Oh, I have 2 of each Yanmega and Licky. So I'm thinking maybe Dialga Yanmega might be the next deck profile I try, but we'll see. I will definitely do Darkrai Weavile as well. I just don't know if it'll be the next one. And I kind of want to try some more Dialga decks. I think Dialga has a lot of potential. I really like this set. Honestly, I think that not only has this set done a sufficient job of shaking up the meta, but the decks it's introduced have been very cool. Yeah, so bringing in the Darkrai, like I said before, I can just attach a Dark Energy. That'll bring the Gyarados down to 80. Then I can Dark Prism and then knock out their Gyarados. So not only does that take care of their main threat, but also that's 4 of their water energy gone. a lot of the time when you're KOing an opponent's Pokemon, like the biggest benefit you get from it isn't even just the fact that the attacker is gone, but the fact that the energy is gone. All that turn of setup. Like this Vaporeon is like useless at this point, right? And my opponent has to start setting up this Palkia from scratch. This immersive art for this Palkia is very cool, by the way. I like it a lot. Yeah, so we have our Magneton gearing up on the bench there. That's the other good thing about this deck. Like, you don't even have to, like, have the Magnezone ready to go necessarily all at once. You can just sit there with the Magneton, build up the lightning energy over time. It's so cool that you can pull lightning energy from the pool. I really like the various energy ramp strategies in this set. I think that Dialga is very cool. I think Manaphy is pretty cool. Yeah, so now we have two Magnetons going. Really just waiting for the Magnezone here. Although, again, at this point, I don't even need a Magnezone to win. My Darkrai's alone are going to be able to do it. Because I do have Cyrus in hand, right? So I can just force the Palkia into the active spot on the follow-up turn. I'm definitely probably about to just put a second Cyrus in the deck. Like, I don't know. I want to, but I actually really like the one Pokemon communication as well. We actually used it. I didn't point it out, but we used it right at the beginning of the game. We swapped out a dead Magneton in our hand and got a Darkrai. And if I'd gotten a Magnemite, that would have also been very good. So, that's the exact kind of situation where the one Pokemon communication actually really does come in handy. That said, Cyrus, again, is also very... Although, to be fair, do you really need two Cyrus? Usually, after you activate the one... If you haven't won the game by that point, you're probably just going to win the game on a follow-up turn. Yeah, Cyrus, of course, plays very well with both Druddigon and Darkrai, because they'll just damage the active Pokemon over time. Your opponent will naturally want to swap it out, and then you can just pull it back in. So here, I actually don't even need the Cyrus to win, because we top-decked the Magnezone. We actually have two different win cons here. I'm going to go for the more flashy one. I can attach energy to Darkrai, then I'll knock the Articuno down to 120. Now we can evolve the left Magneton into Magnezone. I can even use a Leaf to reduce the amount of energy needed to swap out, even though it's not even necessary. We swap out for free, we go into the Magnezone, and then now Magnezone gets to Thunder Blast, dealing a total of 130 due to Articuno's weakness. So there we go, there's us taking out the previous meta's best deck. Now, of course, obviously, this alone doesn't prove that this is the new top meta deck, but it plays so well, I really think it might actually just be. I have high hopes for this deck. I think it's quite good. Oh, there was another new deck I'm going to try. Right, Pachirisu. I knew there was one more I was forgetting. Yes. Alright, so our next opponent is going to be on Charizard. I guess it would be more apt to say it's a Pikachu build that plays Pachirisu, but... we'll talk about that more when we actually play that deck on the channel here. Yeah, like I said, I love this pack. I think this pack is really good. And I would have my Darkrai accessories here, but I don't have all my golden tickets just yet. Needed for the whole package. I like to save it all and get it all at once, so I'm on the Cynthia stuff instead. Alright, so here we opened Magnemite. Just Magnemite, but we have double Pokeball as well. So we found a Druddigon. I'd like to find a Darkrai with this other Pokeball ideally, but it ends up being another Druddigon, so... what can you do? Alright, I'll play... I actually should have played... Well, here, I'm only going to play one Druddigon, because I guess if they Sabrina, that would be completely fine with me, but... yeah, they'll simply attach a Fire Energy to Charmander and then pass. Magneton's a very good top deck here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a Dark Energy to Magnemite, retreat it out for Druddigon, then I can evolve Magnemite into Magneton. Of course, we'll use the Volt Charge to start building up some energy here. And then I am also actually going to play my second Druddigon here. Now is a good time to do it in case they have Sabrina. I don't want them pulling Magneton into the active slot and like randomly KOing it, right? I don't think it's likely they'll be able to do that from this position, but I don't want to take any chances. Alright, so they play a second Charmander, and then if I remember right, they actually evolve up into Charmeleon. And this actually presents me with a really interesting opportunity. Now, I know I just swapped out this Magnemite for the Magneton, but since they have the Charmeleon with 2 fire energy in the active slot, what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to attach my energy for turn to Magneton rather, Volt Charge, so now it's up to 3. Now we're going to evolve into our Magnezone, and I can use this Leaf to retreat out the Druddigon for free. And again, we're taking out all of their turns of setup with the energy here. Also, we're taking out the Charmeleon, so if they were about to evolve into Charizard, that is no longer an option. And the thing to note, again, about Magnezone's attack is that it only requires 1 lightning energy. So next turn, I could attach a darkness energy to Magnezone and then use the Thunder Blast attack again. Now, I wouldn't be able to do that a 3rd time, but they conceded, so we don't have to worry about it. Plus, even if I did by that point, I'd still be in like a winning position and would be able to stall if needed. Okay, our final opponent is going to be on a Darkrai deck as well. They are on Weavile Darkrai, which is a pretty natural combination. Of course, they're both Dark EX Pokemon, and the Weavile ability plays very well with the Darkrai ability. Alright, looks like we're going second here, leading with Druddigon and Darkrai. We've got Magneton and Magnezone. We just need to find a Magnemite here. Opponent's going to lead with a Darkrai of their own. Alright, let's see how they lead. I think they're going to lead by playing a Sneasel. Oh, they Pokeball for the Sneasel. Oh, double Pokeball. Yeah, Darkrai Weavile usually doesn't play many other Pokemon besides the setup for that, actually. Although sometimes they play like Farfetch or Spiritomb. Okay, so there's another Magneton. See, this is another instance where Pokemon communication would be pretty good. So, I don't know. Maybe the build is actually fine as is. The Giant Capes, I guess, are pretty interchangeable. If you wanted to play a second Cyrus, you could cut a Giant Cape for the second Cyrus, but Cape is also pretty good. I also like Cape more than Rocky Helmet in this build in particular. There are some decks where I think Rocky Helmet Druddigon is the way to go, maybe, but in this one, being able to put the Cape on Darkrai lets it survive Gyarados' Rampaging Whirlpool. It lets it survive Mewtwo's Side Drive. So I think that the Cape is definitely the way to go for a deck like this. So we do find the Magnemite here. Also finding a Pokemon communication. I'm going to use it anyway since I have 2 Magneton in hand. Maybe find, like, I don't know yet. Druddigon, Magnemite, Darkrai. Any of those, I guess, would be a little bit better. I don't know if I should have played the Druddigon here. I decide to. I guess, yeah, again, in case they Sabrina. I really don't want to put in Darkrai here just for it to get blasted with, I guess they're not set up for a Dark Prism just yet, are they? But I guess that could happen in the future if I didn't play the Druddigon, right? My Darkrai could get hit with a Dark Prism before I wanted to, so... One thing you might be tempted to do when you have Druddigon out is immediately be like, oh yeah, Giant Cape, put it on the Druddigon. It lasts even longer, it deals even more damage. But I think that Giant Cape should be... It should be kind of treated as a more preemptive potion, in that if you see your opponent has the opportunity to potentially one-shot or maybe even two-shot your Pokemon, you put the Giant Cape on it beforehand so that that doesn't happen. Like, I'm looking to use this Giant Cape probably on my Darkrai here, although to be fair, that doesn't let my Darkrai survive any more Dark Prisms than normal, right? It would get two-shotted anyway, and then it gets two-shot even with the Cape on. It does let it survive Dark Prism plus Scratching Nails, but that might not even come up here. Okay, our opponent's gone double Rocky Helmet for each of the Darkrai's. We're going to swap in their one with 3 energy and KO the Druddigon. Druddigon, even though it only got off 1 Rough Skin here, being able to absorb all of those Dark or Nightmare Auras for so long for that setup was still very, very valuable here. Alright, so we're bringing in our own Darkrai. And what I can actually do, this is a really good setup that we have right here. I'm going to Pokeball and ideally find my other Darkrai, and we do. This is excellent, because I really want to deal 20 damage to the Darkrai that's currently in the active slot. If I had to do that by putting a 4th energy on my active Darkrai, I would have. But putting it on a bench Darkrai is even better. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to Cyrus in the Darkrai that just retreated, which is at exactly 80. after taking those Nightmare Auras over the first few turns there. Keep charging up our Magnezone here. I'll put a Giant Cape on this Darkrai just in case, although I don't think I'll be needing it, because I am planning on finishing the game on the follow-up turn. Going to Dark Prison and KO my opponent's current active Darkrai. I imagine they'll swap in the other Darkrai that's got 3 energy on it, which is conveniently at 100 HP. Again, that's why I wanted to Nightmare Aura while that one was still active, because then on the next turn, I can use my Magnezone to finish that off. It plays very, very well. I don't know. The vibe I got from this deck is the same that I get when I first played Gyarados after Mythical Island just came out. I saw it done well in a tournament, and I was like, really? And then I tried it, and I was like, oh, wait, no, this deck is actually just cracked. And that's exactly this exact same emotional thing I went through. I saw this top to tournament, multiple tournaments, actually. I think it won one, actually, recently, and I was like, really? And then I tried it out for these few games, and I was like, oh yeah, I know, this deck is amazing. So yeah, we're going to keep charging up our Magnezone. We get to Leaf, swap out our Darkrai, swap in Magnezone, and our opponent's going to concede. I was about to attach an energy just in case, but there we go. So that's going to be it. Definitely, if you want to see more of Space-Time Smackdown deck profiles, make sure to subscribe. We got more coming on the way. Thanks so much for watching. This is Hexlex. I am going to be signing out here, but I also hope that you have a fantastic day.